All right guys, welcome back. It's Steve with LRM Truck Repair. Today we're going to talk about removing the headlight assembly. If you guys remember, we talked about removing just the headlight bulb, the H11s. So this time we're going to talk about the headlight. Before I get started into this, guys, I need you guys to, like my channel a little bit or be more motivated about it if you can. So support me. You got to subscribe. Also, guys, whatever the video you've seen in the past or the present, don't forget to pound that like button. All right, so now that's out of the way, let's start on the headlight. So let's jump right into this, guys. If you're like me, you want it done quickly, get a tool. Yay, right? So there's different brands out there. You just find the one that you like. This is gonna be a 3/8 ratchet, and you're gonna need a 10 millimeter. Get the deep socket, not shallow, because shallow is not gonna be long enough. So definitely get your deep 10 millimeter. And if you don't want to go fast, you want to take it nice and slow and drink your beer, get a 3/8 ratchet, all right? And then you can put it with your socket, just like so. And then the other two things you may need is a pair of vice grips. You may need it or may not. And if we don't have to do it on this headlight, I will explain why you would need it. And then of course, a pair of dikes to cut any zip ties of the area of the harness. So these are the tools that we're gonna need to do the job, and a little bit of patience, but other than that, it's very simple. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get around on the back side of this hood. Just wanna let you guys know, this is a 2014 Freightliner Cascadia. It doesn't matter what year the truck you have, 2012 all the way up to 2020, 22, it's still the same concept and the same bolt locations. It just, one might be a rounder headlight and the other one might be square, but it still comes out the front. You remove the bolts on the back, actually nuts on the back side. So let's get around and I'll show you the nuts and what wires to remove. So let's do that. All right guys, so now we're on the back side of this hood that I have for this Freightliner Cascadia. I did forget to mention one thing that we should get. Don't forget your PB blaster. Now PB blaster you can buy at any automotive store, I believe even at Walmart. Hit it up with a little, I cheated, I already did it a little bit because I want to go through this a little bit quickly. But don't forget, hit it with this because you got to remember outside elements between the snow, the rain, rust, salt, all that fun stuff. Hit it with some little bit PB blaster. It might help you go a long way. So now what I'm going to do first is we're going to remove all the wires, right? So this one has a city horn over here. So start from your top and work your way down. So I'm going to unplug, right? These are just little things that just slide over the post. I'm going to twist this. All right, so I went to the left and the turn signal bulb will come out. I'm gonna pull this out, and then right when you get about here, you got your headlights, right? You just apply these out, comes out so easy, right? Each side, one for your headlight, one for your high beams. So once you got the harness all off to the side, just like so, you really don't need to remove these. Leave those alone. Just get the harness off. Now, the easy part. Just remember guys, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we're gonna go to the left. I normally leave the one closer outside last. So I'll probably loosen it up just a little, just like so, and then I'll tackle the rest. So there you go, it's a nut, and it has a little flat washer. Just put them off to the side so you don't lose them. Boom. All right. So the last part, before I take the last one on, you're gonna use your hand to hold the headlight. Because if you don't, sometimes it will fall out. And then, you're replacing it because it is broken. I guess you wanna let it fall, you can. But if you don't want to make a bigger mess, put your hand to hold the light for support. Get the last one off. All right, and then just push. So you may need to push down and wiggle, and it should come out just like so. And that's how you pull out your headlight. So now the next thing I want to talk about, because it does happen, and you can see on this headlight right here, see that post starting to come out just like that? So sometimes it will come out when you're taking the nuts off, and this will stay put, and then it'll still come out. Don't freak out. Just leave that there and get the headlight out. Once you get the headlight out, that's where you get the pair of vice grips that I suggested. You're gonna clamp onto it, just like so, and then take the nut off, and then you'll pull it out. Because when you get the new light, it already comes with the studs already in it. And then that's it. That's why you may need a pair of vice grips. So just keep on going. If you see one just constantly spinning, and you're like, oh, it's not coming out, don't freak out. Do the others, and the last one you use, hold your hand, and then go back to the one and start backing it off. The light should fall right out. And then you'll use a pair of vice grips, like I show you, right? You're gonna clamp on here, just like so. And then if the nut was still on it, you know, all you do is take your tool and you just take it off, and then you remove it from the hood. That simple, right? Considering we're gonna reuse this one, all I'm gonna do is we're gonna just put it back in here. That's all it does, it just screws in. And if you guys did want to replace the studs, you can. You can use it's a reversible torque bit, and you can use it with a socket. I just don't know the size. I might be guessing maybe a 3 or 4, but you can just replace these if you're gonna reuse the headlight. But let's be honest, half the time you're replacing it because a rock, a deer, or the truck backed up to it, and you just want to replace the light. But as you can see, it's very easy to do. So I'm gonna show you guys how to install it. What we did at the end, you're gonna do in reverse. So you're gonna put the headlight up and support it with your hand, just like so. All right, once it's slid up, get your nuts started. So what I would do is, you know, just hold it all there, get them all started, because what you don't want to do is that you get one and then you put your hand down and try to bring it up with one nut. What I would suggest to do is get them all on there and get them started. Once you do, now you can let go. And again, remember guys, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So what I'll do is I'll start on the one corner and then start on the other corner. Just like that. So my tool, it literally stops when it feels pressure, so I don't over torque it. As you can see, the headlight's all back in, and the guys, I'm just telling you, find a ratchet online. It's gonna save you some time. It's battery operated. You know, you guys have an inverter inside the truck. They don't take up a lot of space, it's small. Keep it in your truck. It's a great thing to have, especially if you don't wanna get stuck out in the rain or weather and you wanna do it fast. So I would highly suggest that you guys get a ratchet, you know, electric. And you do the same thing, you just go back. Like I said, what you started out with, you go back in the same way. So you just start plugging everything back in. Flip. Get my light bulb in. Always double check that turn signal light bulb. Always look here and make sure it's flush, because sometimes it could go out at an angle and you can still screw it down. Make sure it's center, not off to the side, going towards the housing or towards the other way. Just make sure it's centered. Then the last one we have is our city horn. And then don't forget these guys, this is just secure the lights. So the pole here, post here. So it looks nice and clean. And then don't forget your dust covers, right guys? So the dust cover is for your headlight, so you don't get junk in it. Just like so, and just like so. There you go guys, headlight is installed. The last thing I would suggest that you do is close the hood, turn on the lights, make sure your high beams, your low beams, and your turn signal is working on the light that you replaced. And guys, remember, this is an older truck. It will still work the same way for the newer Cascadias in the 2020. Just because I know we have them here, the only difference is, instead of being a round one, it's gonna be like squared off. But same concept. The nuts, remove the wires, make sure you hold it with your hand, and then drop it. So let's do a real quick recap about replacing the headlight, right? So again, when you hit something, or a rock hits, or a truck backs in, you have a broken headlight assembly, and this is the video how to replace it. Just remember that we're gonna need some fun tools. You're gonna need a 3/8 ratchet if you wanna do it nice and slow and drink that beer, or fast and quick to get back on the road, don't forget your 3/8 ratchet. Remember, it doesn't matter which one you find. There are pretty good ones out there lately. Don't forget your 10mm deep socket, right? And then also make sure that the bolts get lubricated in the nuts. Don't forget your PV blaster. And then the last thing is, or last two things would be, is a pair of vice grips in case you have one of those pesky bolts that won't come out. And then maybe if you have some zip ties to cut. And as you guys can see, this was quick, fast, it'll save you money. You don't need to call a technician. You guys can do this, all right? Just keep that in mind. So that will be the video of how to replace a headlight. Guys, if you like what you saw today, don't forget to pound that like button. If you have any questions or concern about the video you just saw, please leave a comment at the bottom. Guys, we want more content coming your way, and I want you to support us. Subscribe. I'll see you guys around at the next video.